Hey, 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 it's Natasha Nurse from Plus Model Magazine, and I have a special treat for everyone listening right now. I'm going to be speaking with the amazing, powerful Shannelle Armstrong-Fowler, who is a fashion entrepreneur. She's a visionary leader, social innovator. She's the award-winning communications and retail executive with over 20 years of experience managing public relations of major brands such as McDonald's, Sears, and Kmart. And today she's going to be speaking with me all about the fact that she is the founder and chief stylist of Haute Co Bridal Boutique, Chicago's leading plus size bridal destination, and Revolution Bridal, an online bridal and wedding platform launching in 2018. And what's really great about Haute Co Bridal Boutique is that they've collaborated with People TV, and they're going to have a show that is called The Perfect Fit. So how are you, Shannelle?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. You actually will make my mom really proud the way you describe me. So thank you.
Absolutely. No, it is an honor. I mean, you are such an accomplished woman. I mean, I didn't even go through all your accolades. Like, definitely like how did you like have such a successful career in fashion and social media and marketing? And then how did that kind of lead into focusing in the bridal industry and specifically curvy bridal wear?
Well, I will say this, that the one thing I always like to tell anyone is that most skills that you develop are going to be truly transferable to different industries. As long as you can, really articulate yourself and from a strong position and influence others, as long as you are solid in strategy and a creative person, a lot of those things can transition to other industry. I started in government relations and public affairs, and in that capacity, we really work with elected officials as well as appointed officials and non-governmental organizations and community-based organizations, and you are really working to build, stakeholders and collaboration. And it's no different when you transition those same skills into retail and fashion. And when you work into the public sector or the private sector, as I am now, it really is truly understanding all the true stakeholders in the mix to satisfy your customers and really treating everyone in the mix with the utmost respect and importance, because everybody's job is critical to ensuring that our brides have an incredible experience and find their wedding gown of their dreams.
Mm. So what is The Perfect Fit, the People TV show, going to be all about?
Well, I'm super excited. When Authentic Entertainment first approached me about the actual show or doing a show, I was impressed with Authentic Entertainment because they really do a lot of edutainment. And a lot of it's education, really with a twist of entertainment. Because, we've all seen reality shows that have gone a little bit to the left and never kind of pulled back center.
Yeah.
As we like to say, no tea, no shade on those who do that. It's just that's just not what they do, and that's not what they're about. And so it was really easy for them to come to me around certain ideas. And what they really wanted was a body positive conversation to start to happen in the industry. And they felt that what we were doing at Haute Co Bridal was something that was really important, and brides were really engaging with us long after they purchased their wedding gowns. Like, brides send you pictures that run into them in the store. They want to have dinner. We really built a great rapport with our brides, and showcasing their journeys is important. So what we'll see, and then when People TV, came on board, it was like a win, because keep in mind, I am a People fan. Like, there's not, with the exception of me not really getting the Most Beautiful Woman award, that's their only flaw right now. I'm sure I'm going to campaign, and Alyssa's going to help me, and IT's going to help me get that award one day. But with the exception of that, People has always been a brand that really told uplifting and life-moving stories, and they've always had a unique mix of fashion, realness, and celebrity, and it draws you in. And when they were on board, it was even a win for us. So what you're going to find is the journey of 12 brides through 6 episodes, And you're going to see their high moments and their low moments in a way that's told truly through respecting a bride's journey. Now, we have this beautiful saying that we say at our boutique that we said years ago. We were like, in order for us to really do our magic, we have to first, we style, we snatch, and we slay. And we really try to bring that kind of funness to the actual show, so brides really get a chance to have fun with their journey, to enjoy their journey, because ultimately you're picking out this wonderful dress that's going to take you to the next journey of your life to be a wife.
Wonderful. Okay. So when it comes to finding that perfect fit and that dress that every bride dreams about, why does it seem so difficult for curvy brides to have a really healthy and positive experience on this journey of finding this dress?
Well, that's a great question. And what we find, there are going to be three issues that we find consistently. Your first issue is that not every designer will go past a size 18. So when you're thinking of bridal sizing, always think 2 to 3 sizes larger, depending on the designer, than ready to wear, because their sizing charts have not changed in over 70, 80 years, right?
Wow.
So, right. And so what may be a size, you may be a size 14. In bridal, you can be a 18 or maybe a 20, depending on designer. And if you are a curvy bride that's a size 20, then you're going to be somewhere between the 24 and the 26. And a lot of designers just don't go past an 18 in bridal. So that's going to be your first issue, is not all designers are making their styles available to everyone. There's some that are doing it better than others, and others are trying to catch up. But there are some designers that just won't venture past that 18. Okay? So that's one, the availability of everything for everyone. The second issue is that because every designer doesn't go to curvy sizes, you'll find a lot of the retailers don't have sizes in stock for them to try on. No woman wants to walk into a bridal appointment, especially after seeing certain TV shows and figuring out I'm going to have this wonderful moment, walk in and to be told, oh, we can hold the dress up to you, and that's your experience.
Wow.
And how humiliating is that if you're with your friends and your family in this big moment and you're not able to try on anything, but they'll hold up dresses to you. And of course you order it, it's yours. So whether or not it fits good or it's a great fit for you or not, then it's your gown at that point. So because of the, the second part is because a lot of retailers don't carry curvier sizes. And the third issue is that curvy brides tend to, especially curvier brides, tend to wait till the last moment to shop.
Okay.
That's one of their biggest struggles because they're not having great ready-to-wear experiences, you know. So if there are a lot of great new brands out, like Eloquii and Dia and all these brands out, but they're online. I mean, I know Eloquii has a couple stores now, retail-based, brick and mortar, but they're mostly online. And so if you are truly a curvy person, you are really knowing what 3 to 4 places to go to get clothes for work, to get clothes for the party, to get clothes for, ready to, every day where I go get my jeans. You're not having the same shopping experience as maybe one of your friends who's a size 10, where she could walk into any store and get anything she wants. So what we find is that curvier brides will wait a little bit longer because they dread the shopping experience as a whole. And then it limits our options. Sometimes we had a bride that came in, she's getting married in April. It takes up to 6 months to get a gown in.
Really?
So we're like, yes, it takes up to 6 months to get a gown in because they're made to order. So there's no warehouse with all these sizes in stock. It literally has to call into your designers, place your order. They then give you a ship date. Oftentimes if it needs to be rushed, you have to pay additional costs to get it rushed to you. So there are a lot of challenges when you wait to the end. And we find some of our brides wait closer to the end because they dread the shopping experience.
Wow.
So those would be the big three issues. Number one is because a lot of bridal designers don't go past 18. Number two, because a lot of designers don't go past 18. A lot of retailers don't carry sizes for curvier brides. And three is the brides are waiting longer because of poor shopping experiences to even go into a store.
Now, it does seem like across the board that there's this like impression that when you're getting married, that you're supposed to automatically just like drop your weight and become a different size on your perfect wedding day. Do you find that curvy brides are kind of under this type of pressure or stress as well? And does that also affect like their buying and shopping behavior?
No, I don't find that. I think every bride wants to be her best. Let me start off by saying that. I think every bride wants to be her best. But let's be clear. If a bride's a size 22, she's not trying to drop to an 8 when she comes into the store.
Okay.
She may want to go from that's not her dream. Okay? It's not going to be her dream. She may want to go from a 20 to an 18, but she's not going to want to go to a size 8. So what we find is that brides that walk in, they truly know who they are, and they're okay with what they see in the mirror. They want to be the best versions of themselves. So as stylists, we work to create the looks that not only bring their visions of their wedding to life, but also incorporates the best version of themselves in this moment.
Gotcha. So earlier this year, I believe in February of 2017, the Knot, the leading wedding brand and marketplace, they released results where they shared some really interesting wedding statistics. And from a culmination of data collected from 2016, the average wedding cost was $35,329 or $35,329, excluding the honeymoon. And then the most expensive place to get married was, of course, Manhattan, which accounted for $78,464 spent. And then the average spent on a wedding dress was $1,564. So do you think these stats kind of hold up or compare to what the curvy bride is also spending in this space?
Pretty consistent. Consistent. And so we always look at an average. So let's take that. They said that's across the board. So I can give you stats for Illinois. So for Illinois, where we're located, the average bride across the board who spends in our area is at $1,312. So we're a little bit below that average. So we're a little bit below, but that's average. You know what that means? I mean, half spend less and half spend more.
Exactly.
So coming in around 15 is pretty consistent. When it comes to weddings of 30,000 or more, has a lot to do with the amount of guests that you have in your wedding. So what we find is that if a bride's going to have guests of over 100, she's going to be closer to that 30,000 mark. If she's going to have a wedding with 50 people, she's going to not be near that 30,000 mark.
Now it's interesting. Go ahead.
But with our brides, what we find is we have had brides. I had a bride whose wedding, I don't even want to tally up what it was, because once I saw, the flower arrangements, I had to blink twice because I honestly thought Preston Bailey did her wedding.
Wow.
And she had, when I tell you, it was like, wow.
Oh, so she was bad and bougie. I love it.
Oh, she was bringing it all to the front. I mean, there was not 1 inch that wasn't covered in complete fabulosity. And she had well over 300 plus people at her day.
Oh, fabulous.
So, and then I have brides who have, which is beautiful. They'll have very quaint ceremonies by the lake, but she still want to have a beautiful dress. Because one of the things we tell our brides, don't cheapen your experience trying to cut dollars, because what you're going to be upset with yourself with when you look at your pictures and realize you should have got the gown you wanted.
True. Very good advice. Absolutely. Now, with ready to wear, what I was going to say earlier was that it seems like, I always hear on either the brand side or from a consumer perspective that sometimes the ready to wear fashion can be a bit more expensive when you do comparisons between straight size and plus size, when from the production side of things. from the making of a curvy wedding dress? Does it cost more to make a wedding dress, and then that cost gets folded into what the bride pays, or no, not really? It doesn't really make a difference.
So I think that is a great question, Natasha, because one of the things that I share a lot with our brides is
Mm-hmm.
that if you want parity in sizing, you're going
Mm-hmm.
to get parity in pricing.
Mm.
So there's no expectation that if you go to a high-end designer like Waters or, let me give you another one that does sizing that goes to 28 or 30, Waters or Essence of Australia. If you
Mm.
go to them expecting that a trumpet silhouette fully embellished with Swarovski crystal is going to cost you $300 less, no, that gown is going to be expensive for any size. So a
Ah.
lot of things that we have to do is manage the expectation of
Mm.
what brides think gowns cost. So I'll
Okay.
give you another example, is that there are certain designers that do charge upcharges. Those costs are built already in the pricing that the brides see, okay, for
Mm-hmm.
the most part. Unless some retailers do it differently, the costs are already built in so that we can stay, based upon what we know we can sell in that marketplace. So
Mm-hmm.
those costs are already built in. I wouldn't tell a bride who comes into a curvy shop, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm going to have to charge you more because you're curvy. That doesn't make sense. So those costs are already built into, right? That's so silly, you
Gotcha.
know. So they're already built into. There's no additional cost that brides have. But one of the
Mhm.
things that I often share with brides is that if you're looking at certain advertisers around bridal and you're thinking that you're going to walk into a store and get a $5.99 wedding gown, not
Mhm.
happening.
Mm.
You're not going to get what you want for $5.99, and that's part of the education and waiting to the last minute with all brides. With
Mm.
all brides, with that, if you think that, I had a friend of my husband's were over, and his wife said to me, and she was non-curvy, she's like, when I was getting married, I wanted to only spend $500.
Mm.
I said, what, on the veil? And she said, no, on a wedding dress. And I thought, are you serious? Like,
Mm.
you are going to spend $14,000 on your reception with food and alcohol. But the gown
Mm.
that you're going to be seen in forever, you've limited to the cost of what? A cheese tray?
Mm. Gotcha. That's
So
a great comparison.
so it's just really about having to help educate them. So there isn't some big difference between, and I do appreciate a lot of designers who really don't do it like that. There's no
Mhm.
big difference between curvy and non-curvy. That's almost the same thing as saying that, if you're a size 2, you get charged less because you don't use as much material. Like, that's not really how it works. You
Mhm.
really are paying for the material cost for sure, but you're also paying for the designer's unique designs, which brings me to this point, which is why you'll find that a lot of bridal boutiques don't allow people to take photographs
Mm.
because a lot of designers don't sell their products online. If you find someone that's going to sell their product online, you can snap those pictures until you can't snap any longer,
Mhm.
in a shop. But most won't do it because people can get those images and say, especially like the counterfeiters can get those images and say, hey, this is what this bride looked like in her dress. Come buy it from us. And when you get it, it's nothing like that.
Mm.
So even at Haute Co, we limit the pictures until the person purchases for reasons like that, but also to protect the designer's integrity around their design.
Mm. Mm.
It's like photographing. It's just like photocopying a book and
Mhm.
then saying, I don't know if I want to keep it yet. Buy it.
Gotcha. Okay. So when people watch The Perfect Fit, the People TV show focusing on your boutique and your expertise that you're working with these brides for the 6 episodes, what should they expect? Are they gonna cry? Are they gonna be like, oh my God, this exactly happened to me? Is if they're currently looking to get married, is this going to be, kind of they're gonna get these aha moments? Like what are we gonna see when we watch the show?
We're going to see, definitely we're going to shed some tears because I think I even cried on one of the episodes. I haven't seen them, but I think I shed tears. I know I did on one episode, and I did the ugly cry. You're going to see
Mhm.
people's stories that are real
Mhm.
stories about their journey to finding the perfect fit. You're going to hear their backstories on, getting engaged,
Mm.
losing family members in the process. You're going to see beautiful gowns. Now that you will see, the fashions are slatific throughout. I mean, the fashions are stunning, and you're going to see a diverse mix of brides. So you're going to see brides that are going to be completely about bling. You're going to see brides that are going to be a little bit more curvier than other brides. You're going to see the curvy industry at its best, and you're going to also hear the positive messaging that our team really leads with to help her find and develop and get to the perfect fit. So it's going to be a lot of great moments, some laughing moments, some, girl, you didn't do that moment, to, oh my God, I feel like I'm crying too moments. So it's going to really draw your viewers in, and it's going to draw your readers in so that they really can understand this whole process of finding the perfect fit. And it's a lot of edutainment. It's a lot of educational moments around this whole process. Because let's be candid, it's not like buying jeans. There are certain things that you just have to understand the way the industry works. And we do a great job of explaining that. But also part of what this show is going to do is help her understand the entire process of finding her perfect fit.
Okay. So now let's get down to the nitty gritty, because you are the woman who has the information. What are like the keys that every bride, especially a curvy bride, should keep in mind when she's looking for that perfect fit?
I can break this down to you. Number one is be realistic about your budget.
Okay.
That is key. If you really only have $1,000 to spend, shop at retailers that carry that and below. Because what is disheartening is if you try on a $2,500 dress but only have $1,000, then that's a heartbreaking moment, and all you're going to think about is a $2,500 gown. So really be realistic with your budget and shop with your budget. Okay? Number two is, I know it's going to sound strange to you, Natasha, but I'm going to need you to be engaged. Engaged. Like he or she needs to know that they're engaged to you as well. I need you to be engaged. Maybe have a venue set. Let's not kind of play dress up because you anticipate at some point that he's going to propose or she's going to propose to you, right? So let's really, can you hear that in the background?
Kind of, yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's just, secondly, let's literally be engaged, okay? Not headed there in a year or two, but let's be engaged, okay? Because that's important as well, because we can only work toward backwards on a timeline. If you're engaged, if you're getting married September of 2018, well, we're working backwards from that timeline to make sure you're getting not only your gown, your veil, your undergarments, and all those things as well, and you're all set to go on your big day, right? So that's important for us to have a real date and to be engaged.
Okay.
And you have to say that because that's some of the things that we see across the board. The other thing is, which is really interesting, is proper undergarments are important in anything you do. The foundation of actually having the perfect fit, proper undergarments are important. And so at our boutique, we actually do have loaner long line bras, that help with the support and snatching that way, dip low in the back so you can wear some of those great illusion bags with lace and still have support. So proper undergarments are important. And I always like to say, keep the sexy for after the ceremony. Not necessarily in the middle of your way. Keep that for later. Let's try to get really supported and look our best in those moments. And the other thing is really sit down and research where you're going to find your wedding gown. Make sure when you call them, if they're not polite to you on the phone, if they're not being transparent with, if they have curvy gowns, I mean, you can ask a retailer, I'm not asking you to tell me every single gown that you have, but do you have a good selection? Do you have more than 25 gowns? If you're going to a traditional shop, really ask questions around the inventory they carry. Look at the designers they carry. If their website is updated and it's fresh and it's current, those are great indicators that you're really dealing with people who are really out here in the mix, keeping things current. check their social media pages, making sure that you actually see real brides, because that's important. People that have actually bought and, been a part of the process. Check the reviews, but read the reviews. Because sometimes brides can be, have different expectations. So really read the reviews. If you see consistent patterns in there and they're red flags, call and ask about those. Because at the end of the day, they're retailers and people really do want to serve our brides in the marketplace. And finally, and which is even more important, is if you have brides, if you're going to do bridesmaids, be a bride who's in control of her bridesmaids. And what I mean by that is, often what we find, because we do bridesmaids as well, but we have a small curated collection. It's typically going to be what's hot and what's on, everybody's seeing it in the marketplace, new trends, and et cetera. So what we find is that some brides get nervous around kind of directing their bridesmaids because, I don't like this, or I want this, that don't look right. You get all of those, and she's getting overwhelmed. So we have a quick policy on that one. We first ask the bride, what is your palette color? Great. Here are the dresses in your palette color. So let me pull these 4 dresses. Here are your choices, ladies. Who wants to try on what? Let's get them tried on.
Yeah.
Let's move forward. Let's see what we're buying. Let's size up, and that's it. So because that whole bridal posse thing can get out of control as well, and it can really impact the wedding as a whole for the bride.
Okay. Wow. Those are great tips. And for all women listening, getting married, thinking about getting married, I think that that's a really, really great breakdown. And I think my favorite tip is actually be engaged. That's hilarious. I mean, I'm all about planning. The Virgo in me just, really runs towards planning and organization. But I agree. I think that you shouldn't go into people's place of business playing dress up. Yeah, that's not necessarily a good use of your time or the place's time. So
and it's just bad luck. I tell people it's bad luck to try on a dress when you're not getting married.
Interesting.
It's just bad luck. So don't do it.
Gotcha. And I know you're super busy, so I don't want to keep you for too long. But I guess my only other question before we get to some housekeeping matters would be just like, how does social media play a role in this whole like wedding planning game and hunting for this, perfect fit? Does it play a role? Does it not? And if so, how have you seen it be most helpful and also most harmful?
Well, I think social media is always great when people are sharing about, you can actually see other people's journeys and look at certain elements of other weddings. Any information you have from a bride's perspective is great when you see real brides. How it's helpful is like when they're using things like Pinterest. So Pinterest helps people put their vision to life. And when brides come in, we always ask if they have a Pinterest board. So that helps us understand what she's thinking about. And so it makes our jobs a little more easier to get her to the perfect fit. So social media in a way of helping with planning, helping with organizing, sharing real brides experiences is great. I think where it goes wrong is when they get into information overload and they can't narrow things down because it's like the bright, shiny object. And what about this? What about this? What about this? And what we try to do is help brides understand is like, we're getting you to your vision. Those are great, but let's not, every time there's something new, kind of plop it on your Pinterest board when it's not really fitting into your overall theme of your wedding. So sometimes you can get information overload, and brides also tend to share in social media their process, and you have to really be careful about that. Okay. I belong to a number of bridal groups for brides, right? Because as an owner, I love to hear what brides have to say. I love to see what we could be doing better. And when I'm in these groups for plus-size brides and curvy brides and brides that are engaged, there is a tendency to overshare. And what we find is when they come back to these groups, a lot of the conversation is about the feedback they receive from other members of their family or their friends around their wedding journey, and they're really hurt and they're saddened by some of the responses. So there sometimes can be a tendency to overshare. I always like to say when you're planning your wedding, it's like keep a very tight-knit circle around those who are going to be part of the journey and those who are going to be, part of your inner circle of the journey.
Absolutely. I think that that is so correct. I really struggle with why people sometimes forget that Facebook is not mydiaryonline.com. Like it is not, I mean, like, it is not a space for you to get into these rants and these kind of prolific declarations of hatred and animosity for this store and this, you know what I mean? It's not, it's Facebook, it's not mydiary.com. Like I don't understand the oversharing tendency, but I think that's kind of the con side of social media, that everyone has a platform for good and bad, right? And we have
Yeah.
to kind of we have to think about the repercussions, kind of like what you're saying, of what that means, because everything is documentable now, and when you do that, then there are other things that can happen from that. So now, real talk, when you were married, was there like anything you would have changed? Because I know for me, I kind of cheaped out. I went to City Hall, and because I'm a lawyer by trade, and so my husband was like, "Hey, do you want a house or a wedding?" And I was like, "Probably should find a place to live." So we got a house instead. But for you, like, was there anything, if you could have gone back, would you have done anything different with your dress or with the whole process?
I will say this, and because I've, Natasha, as you get to see me on the show and get to see me in general, you'll find out that I'm pretty transparent, and I am not like any other brides that have gone through this process. I would share with everyone, be careful of who you put inside of your bridal party, because everyone there may not be able to support you in the way you need support.
Gotcha.
And if you ask a lot of brides, the funniest thing is when I was getting married, I'm also a Delta, right? So I'm in a sorority. So I'm a Delta. So I asked a lot of my sorors, like, if you could do one thing, tell me the one thing when you were getting married, what is one of the things that you would do over if you had to do again? And everybody said the same thing. Choose your bridesmaids carefully.
Ooh, interesting. It's like
everyone
this, like,
said the same thing.
everyone knows. Oh, wow.
Everyone said the same thing. And even now, when I talk to brides, I said, when they come back in to get their gown preserved, because we do wedding gown preservations, we always try to encourage brides to come in, let us get your gown cleaned and preserved so you can have it with you for all time. And I'll ask them, what would they do again? They're like, ooh, I would change my bridesmaids. I mean, that's consistently what we see back. And so I'm not unlike other brides. I would choose differently of those who were able to support me in my inner circle.
Ooh, ladies listening to this. They heed her.
Yeah, real talk.
That's awesome. Okay, so I cannot wait. I'm sure everyone listening can't wait. When can we watch The Perfect Fit on People TV? When is it airing?
January the 9th, coming up very shortly.
Awesome. Okay. And where can people get in touch with you? If they wanna pick your brain further, if they wanna shop with you, like, where can people best reach you?
Okay, so you can always, we're on all social media platforms. You can DM us directly, or you can always reach us at Haute Co Bridal and send me a note through the website. Or you can always call us, or, we're on Instagram at HAUTEANDCO. Always respond to everybody who contacts me on social. So I don't have even though we have a nice company, it's beautiful, I tend to be very hands-on with certain areas. I believe if a bride has reached out to us, whether she has a question, a comment, or just a compliment, that her voice is important and she deserves to be heard, and she always gets a response back from me directly.
I love it. You are such an inspiration, and you have such a wealth of knowledge. Thank you for dropping gems. Woo! You shared it. You shared everything our brides and our curvy brides need to know about making sure that they not only get the perfect fit, but that they have sanity while while going through this, because it is supposed to be a memorable experience, and in a good way, right? This is something that you're marrying your partner. For me, if I could have gone back, I would have made things a little bit more special. But at the end of the day, again, the focus should be like who you're getting married to. But why not do it in a fabulous way and in a fabulous dress? And I can't wait to watch the show. And again, thank you so much for being your amazing self. And congratulations on all the success.
Well, thank you, Natasha. And it's not too late now. Vow renewals are still real, so you still have an opportunity to have those special moments.
Very true. I've been told. So I will definitely hit you up for that for sure.
For
All right.
sure.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.